Ants, spiders, centipedes and scorpions are some of the most creepy and crawly bugs out there. Chances are, if you ask someone their thoughts about bugs, they'll say, "Ew, no," or simply make a face that looks like they bit into a scary lemon just a bit too hard. On top of their creep factor, these bugs can also be dangerous, packing a poisonous punch in their bites, stings and swarms. We can all sleep a little better at night knowing that these animals are small and usually more scared of us than we are of them. Right? Well, you won't be so lucky around 300 million years ago, during the Pennsylvanian period, where you would have had an increased chance of having a run-in with a not-so-small bug. During this period, bugs began to evolve at an alarming rate, producing hordes of new creatures, such as a 2.5-foot-long dragonfly and 1-foot-long cockroaches. And in this video, we'll take a tour of this period and count down on some of the world's weirdest and most horrifying prehistoric bugs. Number 10. Meganeuropsis permiana. The first insect on this list is a dragonfly that's around the same size as our modern-day crows. Meganeuropsis is an extinct genus of griffin flies. They existed during the Artinskian age during the Permian period. One of the largest species within the genus, Meganeuropsis permiana, was a creature that looked very similar to the common dragonfly that you see today. The only difference was that the Meganeuropsis permiana had a wingspan of over 2 feet long. Imagine a crow-sized dragonfly buzzing around your head. Not a fun time, right? One specimen found in Elmo, Kansas, boasted a forewing length of 11 inches, a wingspan of 28 inches, and a body length of 17 inches. In other words, it was big. What's even more terrifying than its large size is the hunting habits of the Meganeuropsis permiana. They're thought to have been huge predators who'd fly by and snatch small vertebrates, such as amphibians and mammals. Can you imagine a 2-foot-long dragonfly picking up a frog from the ground to eat as a snack? Absolutely chilling. Number 9. Euphoborea. Although their name sounds a lot like euphoria, they're not a fun-loving bunch. As a genus, the Euphoborea make up the millipedes of the Pennsylvanian epoch. They specifically thrived during the late Carboniferous, when there was an excess of woody, lush forest. If you're not a fan of millipedes today, Euphoborea are likely the stuff of your nightmares. There have been fossils found measuring in as long as 12 inches. That's like a living ruler that can lurk around the forest with hundreds of legs. Ugh. One feature of Euphoborea that makes them especially goosebump-inducing is the fact that they have numerous legs, like our modern-day millipedes. Scientifically, the classification of Euphoborea in context with other prehistoric animals has been a little bit foggy. People have attached many different descriptive names to the group, such as millipede, centipede, and myriopod. At the end of the day, there's one word that comes to mind that describes them pretty well. Terrifying. Number 8. Manipulator modifica putis. Okay, enough with the big bugs. The next bug we'll look at is a prehistoric cockroach of sorts, the Manipulator modifica putis. In contrast to the other creatures on this list, the Manipulator modifica putis was an animal of standard size, at around 0.5 to 0.5 inches in length. But the real horror comes into play in some of its features, such as a fully pivoting head and long slender legs that were built for grabbing. These traits indicate that the Manipulator modifica putis was a stone-cold predator built for surveying its surroundings and grappling with unsuspecting prey. And if that's not terrifying enough, the Manipulator modifica putis had a very unique appearance, with traits that look like a horrifying mix of a cockroach and a praying mantis. So, are you scared yet? Number 7. Campanile giganteum. While the next animal on this list isn't technically a bug, it still is the stuff of your nightmares. Behold the Campanile giganteum, monster of the deep. This absolute giant is an extinct ocean snail that still lives in the group of the largest snails to ever roam the earth. The Campanile giganteum lived during the Eocene epoch, and there have been numerous fossil remains found throughout the Paris Basin in France. It dwarfs modern snails, ranging in at lengths from around 16 to 35 inches. In addition to a giant snail just being a scary sight to see in general, they also had a super sharp and angular shell that added to their rugged, "don't mess with me" appearance. Even though snails aren't the most fear-inspiring animals, the terror comes along with their massive size and sharp shells. I mean, imagine seeing a group of these slowly crawling their way towards you from the depths of the ocean. It's almost like something out of a zombie movie. Number 6. Jaekelopterus. Imagine this, a mix of the worst parts of the ancient aquatic sea snail and the prehistoric cockroach. Well, you won't have to imagine it anymore, because we're going to talk about Jaekelopterus, the extinct group of predatory aquatic arthropods. One common species, the Jaekelopterus renaniae, was fearsome in appearance, measuring in with an average body length of roughly 7.5 to 8.5 feet. In terms of modern animals, it looked truly alien, possessing an elongated, segmented body, small, creepy, crawly-like appendages coming off the body, and 2 pincer-like claws. What's even more terrifying than its features is knowing that they reflect its favourite hobby, hunting down and eviscerating its prey. Number 5. Anomalocaris. Another sea creature that is absolutely terrifying is the Anomalocaris canadensis. Like many of the other animals on this list, they almost appear to be a horrifying mix of traits from animals that we see today. In the case of the Anomalocaris canadensis, it has traits that make it appear to be an amalgamation of a squid and a shrimp. It had a segmented shrimp-like body that could undulate and move easily in the water. If you're not sold yet on how terrifying these animals are, imagine watching them undulate their bodies to swim about the ocean. Just when you think that's as creepy and as crawly as you get, you witness them use 2 tentacles on the front of their face to grasp onto prey and chow down. So, are you sold yet? Additionally, the Anomalocaris canadensis also had 2 short tentacle-like appendages near its mouth that could pull in prey towards its ring of sharp, razor-like teeth. Number 4. Chimeroceras. Keeping in line with the idea of sea monster bugs, we'll take a look at Chimeroceras, a genus of extinct enderocid cephalopods that dominated equatorial oceans sometime during the Ordovician period. Much like the Campanile genus we talked about earlier on in this list, the Chimeroceras had a narrow, elongated shell ranging from 2 to 6 feet in length, depending on the species. Unfortunately, due to the nature of fossilization, we don't have a 100% concrete idea of what species within the genus looked like in their shells. With that said, some recent fossil evidence and inferences we can make from modern-day cephalopods can allow us to make some educated inferences. Due to the anatomy of the Chimeroceras shells, it's thought that its mantle, squid-like head to you and me, would be tucked up into the shell, while the base of its body, where the beak and the eyes would lay around the opening of the shell. Sprouting from the base would be a multitude of tentacles ready to latch on and subdue prey. Just gives me chills talking about it. Number 3. Arthropleura. This genus was composed of massive millipedes that occupied what is now modern-day North America and Europe. Ecologically, species within this genus were known to be some of the largest land arthropods to ever exist. One thing that is particularly hair-raising about Arthropleura is that they were thought to be so large and unusual that they had few, if any, natural predators. Just picture a landscape full of these humongous creatures that not even a predator wanted to try and attack. Some species within Arthropleura were recorded to have grown up to 8 feet in length and 20 inches in width. If someone needs a partner to count the legs on one of those guys, well, you can count me out. Number 2. Pulmonoscorpius. The last 2 groups on this list have the Gold Star Award of being some of the most hated modern animal groups to date: spiders and scorpions. We'll first discuss Pulmonoscorpius, which is an extinct genus of giant scorpion that contained one species, the Pulmonoscorpius kirktonensis. This species was humongous as compared to scorpions today, coming in around 28 inches in length. Interestingly enough, the Pulmonoscorpius kirktonensis retained some features that were more characteristic of ancient arthropods than scorpions, such as wide-set eyes and a lack of burrowing adaptations. It's thought that the Pulmonoscorpius kirktonensis was a diurnal hunter that would prey on small arthropods and possibly tetrapods as they began to develop on land. Number 1. Megarachni. Okay, I know I said the last group of animals was technically a relative of spiders, but I was lying, sorry. In reality, the group was first identified as spiders, which was later found to be incorrect. If that were to be true though, I simply don't think anything could be scarier. I mean, look at him. This group was labelled Megarachni, which now stands as a testament to the original identification. Now we understand that Megarachni was a marine eurypterid, similar to some of the other aquatic animals on this list. In comparison to other marine eurypterids, the Megarachni were actually considered to be ranging on the small side in terms of body length. Like other marine arthropods, they had a series of appendages that came off the body, much like the legs of a crab or a spider. Additionally, they had a carapace-like shell on their abdomen, which is one of the reasons why they were classified as a spider. Even though it's not technically a spider, its spider-like appearance, while also being an underwater predator, are 2 facts that just don't sit well with me. Well, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed touring some of the world's most terrifying prehistoric insects. As always, please like, subscribe, and of course, don't let those prehistoric sea bugs bite.